Hi! Today I'm doing a review on the Kane Wolves series by Annalise Grey. There's only 2 books in the series, and Embrace, the second one, is just out. I actually got that one for free because I ticked to read on Goodreads to read it, and the author sent a link to everyone who ticked to read to get the book for free on their e-reader, so it was brilliant. And I got the first book free as well in some deal on BookBob, I think. But yeah, the first one's called Howl. So unusual, majority of books now that have werewolves or shapeshifters, it's not just that. There's all this different bunch of supernatural creatures. Sometimes that's good, and sometimes you just want a book about werewolves, and this series is just about werewolves, which is nice. They're quite short, the books, but you get plenty in them as well. So it's about a girl called Sophie, and she belongs to this werewolf family who are very close knit. They keep together, they don't really want to associate too much outside their family. And then Sophie meets a human, Jamie, and she starts to fall for him against her family's wishes. Kind of like a little bit like a Romeo and Juliet type story. If you saw my review on the Nightshade series, I mentioned how they were quite similar, but this is much better than the Nightshade series. Also, I mentioned Blood and Chocolate, which has a similar storyline. I don't think the Kane Wolves series is better than Blood and Chocolate, but it's still good. I did prefer book 1 to book 2 because book 1 just had this nice simplicity to it, and I really liked the adult kind of theme or tone of the first book. There was lots of hard decisions and kind of choices to be made in the first book. The second book, while it was still good, but it just, gave me that little bit more of a YA kind of cheesy kind of romance feel at times. Even though it was a little bit more amped up in the excitement and action level. I loved all the family dynamics in this book. The Shifter series by Rachel Vincent has kind of this as well, brilliant family dynamics, and I've been looking for a series containing that for a long time, and this series had it well. And Sophie has a twin brother called Tristan, and I love their kind of sister-brother relationship. It was really nice. So the first book's off from Sophie's point of view. The second book is from Sophie and another male point of view. I would have liked a more consistent narration between the books, just all Sophie, but it wasn't too bad. The love scenes I found were quite implicit, particularly in the first book. Sophie, the protagonist, she's a very kind of quiet character, but kind of brave as well. She really steps up. And what I like about this book is that it's very subtle. It's female empowerment. You get some books and it's just really obvious in your face. Yay, go females. This author is saying women can be just as feisty and strong as men. We don't need to throw in our faces, but I think this author does it well and shows it kind of subtly, which is good. So overall, I do recommend this series to people who just want a simple werewolf storyline, and who like that kind of family dynamic brought into a story. And if you don't want to get into a big long series, it's just 2 books, 2 relatively short books, so that's good as well. So yeah, check it out and let me know what you think. Okay, now I'm going to do the spoiler review. If you haven't read these 2 books, I suggest you switch off now. Okay, I have a kind of a pity that the big epic romance that was brought up in this first book, just didn't really work out, and it wasn't even the big end game. But I was rooting for Daniel and Sophie. I did think they were quite sweet, especially Daniel and his kind of devotion to Sophie almost. I do think the reason the second book felt a little bit cheesy kind of YA romance was because Daniel was really in love with Sophie, but we didn't really get much evidence of that. I don't think you have to have Daniel's point of view in the first book to get that across. Through Sophie's eyes, a good author could get across Daniel being in love with her, but developing throughout the book. With the first book, it was very sad with the brother's death, with Ethan and Gavin, I think. Yeah, I thought that was really sad. They kind of brushed over Ethan's death a little bit. At the end as well, like at the very end of the second book, there was a big jump. Like just at the end of the big battle fight, Daniel was alive, yay. And then we're straight into the future, like years later, where they have kids. And I do admit that's nice. I love when you get to see kind of like that epilogue of what happens later. But I do think the jump was quite abrupt. Like we barely got out of the fight and we were straight into that. So a better transition would have been nice there. But overall, I enjoyed the book. I don't think it was perfect, but the writing was good enough, and the story was. I do think that the elven magic element could definitely have been cut out. As I said, I liked the simplicity, and it was just a werewolf story. That elven magic thing didn't need to be brought in, I don't think. But that's that. That's my review on the Kane Wolves series. Let me know what you thought about it, if you've read it, and thank you very much for watching.